Welcome to the counselor's office. I'm Mr. Gaming Counselor. We have been going through doing a mini marathon on all the Destiny 2 story campaigns just to get us ready for Renegade. So when I play it, I can give a brutally honest review with everything. We even watched all Forsaken to get us a really prepared to give a fair review. Now, as I do brutally honest reviews, we have a video by someone who doesn't even play Destiny really anymore, who's going to give us their brutal review because they went to the little, not summit, but the recording for Destiny 2 Renegades for a bunch of content creators to try to help Bungie sell this game, this expansion, right? We're going to watch Mr. Fruit. I used to watch Mr. Fruit quite often. He was enjoyable. I found him funny. And I remember when he wasn't even in the millions. He has transcended into a variety streamer or content creator, and he's a cool dude, very chill. And so I take a little bit more stock into what he has to say about Renegades than I would probably any other content creator. Every other content creator, in my brutally honest opinion, I would put a lot more stock into what he has to say and his thoughts on the new expansion coming out Tuesday, which we will be live streaming. If you want to see a brutally honest review, my expectations are on the floor. So if you see me smiling and having a good time, you know this expansion is doing well. If you see me frowning, you know it's bad. If you see me just going through the motion, just know it's probably just more Destiny, right? So we're going to jump in and see what the legendary Fruit has to say, the brutal truth about Destiny 2 Renegades.
My name is Mr. Fruit, and welcome to a video you wouldn't normally expect to see from myself. Today, I'm going to be talking about my hands-on time with Destiny 2 Renegades because I think my perspective is a more unique one among those that also got the chance to play it early and will be posting their impressions and gameplay. I got the chance to go to Bungie headquarters in Seattle earlier this month. They have 2 days to check out the upcoming expansion, and for the sake of full transparency, they paid for both my flight and hotel, but not for any video coverage or opinion. If you hear out the entire video, I think you'll believe me. This video contains all my own thoughts, opinions, and experiences. First, if you're unfamiliar, Destiny 2 Renegades is their first crossover expansion, with it being heavily inspired by and worked in collaboration with Star Wars. All the gameplay you'll see during this video is gameplay I captured while...
By the way, it's important to note they did not pay them for opinions or the footage, because they're essentially, Bungie's getting free advertisement, and the content creator is going to make money on having early access to something before it comes out. Always nets you more views than people who don't have access to it, right? People are going to watch it because they want to see. So it's a net positive for both sides. Symbolic. Symbolic. It is very a mutual benefit from each other. That's why they pay for the trip and the food and everything else. You would get a benefit out of it because you're making money from the viewage and the ads and all the stuff, and just being able to talk about it constantly. Fortunately enough, we get to react to it as well. Not going to make as much money as people putting out the footage and who, had a nice trip, their family vacation. But like I said, I'm here to support Mr. Fruit.
The event, and does not include any major story spoilers. Now, the reason I believe my input to be a little more unique at this juncture is because if you know who I am, then you know I've been playing Destiny since the PS4 beta in 2014. You know that my channel got its kickstart from Destiny, and that I've posted more than 1,000 videos between Destiny 1 and Destiny 2. And most importantly, you'd know that I've been disenchanted with the franchise for some time now. So you can imagine my surprise when I was invited to this event, considering the last time I was invited to Bungie was for Curse of Osiris. Admittedly, I was most excited about this opportunity because it meant I got to see some people in the industry I hadn't seen in years, or the opportunity to meet entirely new folks. After all, if it wasn't for that first Destiny 1 capture event they invited me to, I don't think I would have ever met or become as good of friends as I am now with people like Datto or MTash. So that should give you an idea about where my head was at. I was more excited about everything involving the trip except for the part where, well, we would be playing Destiny 2.
Damn! I'm more excited for meeting people than playing Destiny. Damn. That's how I feel about Renegades. I'm excited to play with swords and all the cool sword shit than I am the actual expansion. Like, fuck all that. It's like the Drake meme where he's like, and he points at that. That's me with swords and all the benefits of all the sword stuff and the armor and all that jazz.
Simply because I was managing my expectations. Destiny 2 hasn't gotten me excited in a really long time, outside of a few exceptions. The final shape being one of those. I really started to fall off the wagon around Shadowkeep, and sparsely played up until Witch Queen. That felt like a turning point at the time and was hitting all the right notes. Not only that, but all my friends were back on and enjoying it, and I know many of you can agree that that simple matter of fact can make a game so much more enjoyable. But what followed was more of the infamous highs and lows we've come to know Destiny and Bungie for. Lightfall felt like whiplash coming off of the Witch Queen high. Yep. Player and community sentiment is a never-ending roller coaster for this franchise, and for good reason. It feels like we never know what to expect. When things seem to be headed the right direction, the future seems bright and limitless, but just as soon as we expect to see the game reach greater potential, it veers off course and we're back in the "it's so over" phase.
It is so funny that someone who's just disenchanted and doesn't even play the game is able to like say it from the back. For all the, I feel like people who quit the game and are tired of people saying that they shouldn't have an opinion or they can't be upset about something that they don't play anymore. This man said it all for the people in the back. That shout out to you. People are tired of getting to a high, and it seems like Bungie's doing something, and then they stop listening. Like I said it in Into the Light that we are making steps in the right direction. I praised Bungie for the Into the Light, like we're doing it. We're doing it. And then the final shape came out, and I was like, okay. And then we had Echoes. And then we had Revenant. And then we had Heresy. A lesser fart. It was still a fart, though. It relied heavily on nostalgia bait. But it was better than the other two. And then we have Edge of Fate. Like, how do we take things that people like Witch Queen and Into the Light, even Final Shape, and I know we'll never have like Final Shape is an anomaly, just like Forsaken is. So much goddamn like energy went into those expansions that we'll never get again. But we didn't even get like Witch Queen level. We didn't get like the basic like small Witch Queen level, like just. So when he talks about how we're going high and low and it's never consistent, it's because Bungie, for some reason, doesn't just continue what works. They have to break and do everything that no one asked for, which is why people are disenchanted in the first place. So I'm glad he said it. He said it out loud because that's how a lot of people feel is that we can't praise this company for making the same mistake 4 years. He talked about Curse of Osiris. They've been doing this same shit 4 years. And people are just tired of Bungie. They love Destiny. They're tired of Bungie.
And just so we're clear, this isn't recency bias talking. We've had this song and dance since the release of Destiny 1. But in equally classic Bungie fashion, just as it seemed like all hope was lost and nothing short of a home run could save Destiny, the final shape released. Yep. Myself and most other Destiny players were eating good.
It was
felt
good.
Like a proper send-off to the Light and Darkness saga they've been telling for a decade, and perhaps a promise of what's to come, because after all, it kind of felt like that was the end.
Yeah.
Now, fast forward
Surprise.
over later, and I don't need to tell you just how down bad the entire community is. Sentiment is at an all-time low. Player count is at an all-time low. And a lot of people, myself included, are still waiting for Bungie to give us a reason to love Destiny again. The Edge of Fate released a few months ago, promising to be the beginning of the next chapter for Destiny 2 by introducing the Fate Saga, and it was whelming.
That's being very nice. Whelming is very nice. Also, I want to make this complaint. Hearing the Star Wars beam 1 for 1 just is so annoying to me. It's like, oh my God.
Didn't feel like the kickoff to this next big great thing that Destiny needs. Because while there are many of us burnt out or putting Destiny aside for the moment, I want to make it clear why I'm not engaging with Destiny the same way I used to. I've sung their songs and danced their dances enough times now that I know what to expect, and frankly, I've had my fill. They were fun for a while, but now I need something else. Something to surprise me. I think that's the biggest factor for me. Destiny hasn't surprised me in a long time. I'm not talking on the micro level because, sure, there's been some random missions or beats here and there that grab my attention, but I'm talking on a fundamental macro level. In many ways, the game we're playing today is the same game that released in 2014. Now, I know that may seem like I'm downplaying how far the game has come, because we have made great progress from grinding Spirit Blooms in Venus in a constant circle just so I can unlock one node on this new gun I just got to see if it's even good. But what I mean is a change to the formula. Something to push it forward in a way none of us would have thought possible. Social and clan interactions are nothing more than a menu most of the time. Player connectivity is sparse aside from a few patrol zones that almost never necessitate working together. I'm talking big, radical ideas that we would only expect to see from a sequel or...
And what he's saying is he's not saying the portal. He's not saying menu gameplay. He's not saying we need a soft sunset the rest of the game. What he's saying is we need to do something new and fresh that isn't something that's going to piss off the community, but actually entice them to want to play the game.
New IP in the same way we were delighted and amazed at what Destiny 1 did when it first released. Don't get me wrong, I enjoy new exotics, some way to add some more perks or reasons to chase new gear and guns, some gear sets on armor, etc. But for me, and I want to make it very clear, I'm talking exclusively for me, not claiming to be talking for others, I need something else to reel me back in, because everything else feels like a band-aid fix that remains novel for a short amount of time.
I think he's also speaking to a lot of the community. I think he's representing a lot of the community, especially people who have left, right? People look at the loot, and let's just make it very clear. I thought Edge of Fate brought some really good loot. Like the exotic hand cannon, or what the hell it was called, was massive in PvP. The pulse rifle, the dad rifle everyone fucking hates, is god tier in PvP. The other guns are pretty fun. The shotgun you can use in PvP. There's a couple PvE options. And then just the portal update itself brought some of the best weapons, like Mint Retrograde is the meta gun and is still going to be one of the meta guns outside of the, the lightsaber, right? Loot is not the problem with Destiny right now. I know maybe the delivery method of it, like people are upset that, tier 5s are coming out like candy, whereas the other side of the community is upset that they have to do so much grinding in order for, tier 5 to drop like candy, right? There's two different sides. You have the casuals upset that they'll never have candy, whereas the veterans are upset because they have all the candy and there's not much going on here. It's where so much candy, I got cavities now. And you don't really have much places to take it because everything else in the game is soft sunset and pointless. Especially like its power level doesn't matter if the 90% or 85% now of the game. And so that the loot is not really it's a aspect of a problem, but it's not the root problem that Destiny is facing currently. I think loot is great, but it's not going to fix the issue. Let's add lightsabers. I'm sorry, lightsabers in Destiny is not going to keep people around. They'll load in, they'll get it, they'll play with it, they'll go away. Once they realize that there's nothing else there to maintain their interests or give a shit.
Some have asked me then what that would be. And honestly, I don't know. I don't claim to know, nor that I could do it any better. Honestly, it would be one of those things that I never knew I needed until I had it. It's hard to know what exactly I'm missing until someone shows me. What would Destiny look like with truly open worlds? No instance zones. With world bosses that shook the earth and alerted every guardian on the planet to come aid in its defeat. Clans and social systems, leaving you immersed and proud to be a part of them. What would a trading economy look like? What if the Division's survival wasn't Destiny? What if My Little Pony absorbed the darkness and farted evil rainbows across the cosmos? I have no idea. I'm not saying any of those are...
Don't give Bungie any more Fortnite vibe-esque suggestions, please. I already expect us to run around as Dora the Explorer in the coming future. Like, come on now.
Good ideas, except for maybe the My Little Pony one. All I'm saying is that Destiny has become predictable and formulaic. Now, this is coming from someone who's been with the franchise for a decade. For newer players, there's so much to do and experience that you probably just think I'm some old fart yelling at kids to get off my lawn.
No, I mean, I think there's truth to what he's saying, but what he's not also explaining is that there's so much content that no longer has like its same value. Like if you buy all the DLC, a lot of the value has been diminished because Bungie has made it not as like you're not going to get power out of it. There's now other weapons that completely outpace it. Like the tier weapons are now going to completely outweigh anything that isn't a tier or at least enhanced masterworked weapons, right? Like I'm thinking, Warlords, right? Warlords Ruin, phenomenal dungeon that you have to pay for, and all the loot is pointless. There is nothing outside of just maybe the exotic. That entire dungeon is now irrelevant and pointless. And sure, they made a dungeon lair out of it to get portal gear, but it's not what people paid for. And that's the problem, is that your new players are buying into this game and then finding out, or maybe they don't know what to buy because they don't know what they need to play, because the new player experience is just awful. So there's, again, multiple issues. There is a lot to do, but then when you realize most of it doesn't matter, or there isn't explained what matters or what new players need to buy, what they need to invest in, if they don't have friends holding their hand and guiding them, this game is going to immediately disenchant anyone interested in it. And that's why you see maybe new uptick of new players come in, but you see them all leave. Like the new player to retention level is just dramatically different. We know that people will check it out because it's free, but then when they realize what it provides, they're gone. And that is a problem.
And maybe I am. And that's the long version as to why I was managing my expectations headed into this Renegades capture event. Edge of Fate wasn't that next big step for Destiny 2, and many other players seem to agree.
Yeah,
so,
it wasn't.
While I was hoping Renegades would perhaps delight and surprise, I was trying to be realistic, especially since so many of the things they tried to implement or change system and progression-wise in Edge of Fate fell flat. Realistically, that's not a lot of time to be able to assess, react, and take action. So, after my hands-on time with Destiny 2 Renegades, I can confidently say that it's more Destiny 2. For some of you, that's great. For others, not so much. You should probably be able to discern what I mean by that, given all the context I gave right before this, but I'll be as plain as...
If you're wanting this to change your way of thinking of Destiny, it's not. That's what he's saying. If you think Destiny is ass and shit, it's still ass and shit. If you think Destiny is the greatest game that existed, it's still the greatest game that ever existed. If you think that the game is enjoyable but needs to be fixed, you will essentially, your opinion will not change based on this campaign. It is and here's my thought. My thought is that you could treat this as a slice of pie, but like just a slice. It's not the whole pie, but this slice of pie you might enjoy more than the other slices. But this one specifically is not going to change your outlook on the entire pie. If you don't like pumpkin pie, then you're not going to like this slice.
I can.
That's what I'm getting from him.
If you're enjoying and grinding Destiny 2 right now and what it has to offer, you will continue to enjoy and grind Destiny 2.
There you go.
If you've never played Destiny 2, and this would be your first time playing, frankly, I think there's a ton for you to enjoy and grind. But if you're like me, someone who has played this game for a considerable amount of time, over a long period of time, and looking for that next thing to pull you back in, I don't think this is it. I had the same sentiment towards Edge of Fate. Now, this is a gross oversimplification of everything the DLC has to offer you, but that was my takeaway, and why I already know Renegades won't be making me log into Destiny 2 past the first week or so. If you want the nitty-gritty details, all the information about new loot or perks or even deep dives into some of the new modes like Bounty Hunt, there are a lot of other creators and press at that event who I know will do a phenomenal job at making those. And that's why I'm posting this. I don't do that kind of content, and furthermore, it wouldn't be half as good. What I can do is give some overall impressions, though, because it's not like it was all bad. In fact, I feel I should specify, nothing I played was bad, truly. But it was more or less exactly what I have come to expect from Destiny, and that comes both with the good and the bad.
That's fair.
Some of the high notes for me personally were the environment designs. Playing through some of the story missions and finding myself in a Destiny Star Wars fused Imperial Star Destroyer, or blowing up Cabal in the Chicken Walker, did put a smile on my face. Landing in a not-so-subtle Dagobah nod was a cool moment, and what I think they did best was, as a Star Wars fan, I noticed all these things, but for people unfamiliar or worried it won't feel like Destiny, I don't think you need to be worried. I think they did a great job of blending Star Wars into Destiny and not the other way around.
We'll see.
I'm
I'll
sure
be the
some
judge
will
of that.
disagree, but I thought it was pretty tasteful. Music was also a big standout. You could feel the Star Wars inspiration.
Michael Salvatore is back. That is one of the things that I am excited about. I don't know how they got him back or fired his ass, but they got him back. That man is a godsend for this expansion, because just listening to the soundtrack, oh my God. Even though I'm not like overhyped about the Star Wars, music, still sounds fucking legendary. That is one of the things I look forward to Renegades is the soundtrack.
Sprinkled within the Destiny branded notes. There's also this new invasion feature within Renegades, new bounty hunt activity. The bounty hunts are these new activities you're able to play on repeat, which on daily rotation will change which faction you'll be fighting, the goal of each mission, etc. There's also a crime syndicate faction war woven into the entire story and activity, where you'll get to pledge to certain factions trying to gain reputation and infamy. Bounty hunts have their own unique skill unlocks that you equip before every run and can be used during those missions that you wouldn't be able to use otherwise. You can call down a chicken walker. And by the way, no, it's not.
By the way, this is not abilities. This is what Helldivers does. And those aren't abilities. Those are mechanics. Those are ordinances. Hell, you could argue that they're Call of Duty score streaks, which aren't abilities.
Call it chicken walker, order an aerial strike, or request a resupply, among many others. But then there's the invasion system. You can opt to queue up as an invader and crash a team's bounty hunt in progress. You have your own separate goal of trying to score enough kills to sabotage the enemy team, but with a limited amount of time and lives to do so. The enemy team will be alerted when you first arrive into their match, but then they have to keep an ever-vigilant eye out for you while you stalk them. All players can use their ridiculous abilities, so if you want to invade and attack the enemy team with a mech, you can. If you're a defender and want to call down a defensive bubble to sit in that only you can shoot through, you can. It's that whole idea of if everyone's overpowered, nobody is. Granted, some of the time we were playing with this in the closed playtest, it was a little wonky, so not everything worked perfectly, but that won't be the case when the DLC goes live, and it was enough to see how it would play out. The new blaster archetype weapons were also fun enough. They sounded great and were fun to shoot, so there's...
I'm still sticking to what I said, that the invasions are going to really piss people off, especially when you tie the best loot to invasions. People are going to be fucking pissed about it.
Not much else to really say. And then, of course, there was the lightsaber. I kind of hate that I like it so much. Like, it should really feel more out of place, but for some reason it didn't. It's also... I
think that is Star Wars biasm. If you love Star Wars, you're gonna say that it doesn't feel out of place. It does. It feels way out of place. As someone that likes Star Wars but isn't a fanboy of it, it is so fucking out of place. Like, I watched PvP and people just running around like we're playing Battlefront is so insane to me.
Like, really, really strong. But aside from those few things,
I'm excited to use it because it is
just
strong.
Felt
It looks
like a
fucking
new coat of paint on the
destroys.
same car. The meat and bones stay the same, and so many of the missions or objectives were just so unapologetically Destiny. Like, you knew exactly what you needed to do. At some point, you're going to find yourself picking up motes to bank them into a device. We haven't done that before, so I think the...
No, we've never done motes. Holy shit, dude. Oh, man. Gambit died so that it could live in every other aspect of Destiny for the foreseeable future.
Worry for me is that the campaign felt fun and stood out, but that can be an issue. Aside from the first playthrough, the campaign missions are usually the least engaged with activities. All the other guys there had more specific worries, like how viable the new laser weapons would be, and it seemed the consensus was that none of it seemed really endgame viable. I wasn't really worried about that. So as you can tell...
Wait, what? They said that wait, what? Whoa, that's a little nugget of information that's important. What was that?
Activities. All the other guys there had more specific worries, like how viable the new laser weapons would be, and it seemed the consensus was that none of it seemed really endgame viable.
Oh, that's not the shit you want to hear. None of it is endgame viable? What? Because he's talking to Dado. There's no fucking way that people are saying, oh, well, you heard it here. If you see people gaslighting, they're trying to gaslight you. Holy shit. I think it did a vid on the weapons. I need to look at Age's video.
I wasn't really worried about that. So as you can tell, this was more or less a jaded Destiny 2 player's experience with the new Renegades DLC. I'm grateful I got the opportunity and was appreciative of them inviting me despite, at least I assume, knowing how I feel about the game right now. Will this hurt my chances?
Got confirmation that they 100% knew I was disillusioned with the game, and it's exactly why they invited me, which was great to hear.
Returning. Honestly, I have no.
If Bungie brought some like people like Mr. Fruit because they knew they did not want to, they didn't care for Destiny anymore, I think that's a good step for Bungie. If they brought more than just the favorites and people who don't even like invest in the game anymore, that is huge. It's also makes me wonder if they're trying to branch out, because Mr. Fruit now is a variety channel with 2.1 million, subscribers. So he has a shit ton of viewers. So, that it could be very business oriented, that they just want to put eyes out there. They don't care about his actual opinion. They just want more people to see it and get it out there. Hey, Star Wars. So I don't know. That's just the cynic in me about Bungie. But I would like to give them credit if they do more people who are more detached and are also maybe critical of Bungie, which I have not seen anyone who's usually critical of Bungie going to these events. Like I don't think Clyde went. I don't think Swetsicle went. Like there are several people I would have liked to see have gone and didn't get to go.
No idea. I'd like to think not, and that they value all manners of opinions and perspectives.
That's
in fact,
what they say.
I'd be looking forward to the next invite even more if they know full well how I feel, but would be coming from a place where they think what they have to show will genuinely blow away someone in the community like myself. I really didn't have too many specifics I wanted to talk about, just that as a whole, I more or less got exactly what I was expecting, and that's just not enough for me right now. I don't know about you. There's only so many times I can hear we need to do better before it doesn't mean much anymore. Actions really do speak louder than words, and I'll be keeping a close eye, hoping that
This Sky Pro looks sick.
Maybe not soon,
Pulse rifle,
but that someday Destiny becomes that game I love and want to grind again. If you
give it a like. Mr. Fruit getting it out there, being honest about the situation. I appreciate it. I appreciate you being honest about it. Hold up, Mr. Fruit got invited to the family trip of Astacross. Family trip, huh? Glad you got invited. Somehow Gambit returned. I appreciate Bungie's willingness to invite someone who they knew was disenchanted with the game. I hope they keep it up. Again, I'm being a cynic because I feel like they did it because he has a massive viewing, and it doesn't matter whether they like it or not. Fruit Cross actually brothers for his family trip. New lore unlocked. Back to stroke the forge. Nothing invokes sadness quite like Mr. Fruit Destiny video these days. Christ, I wish more people could construct the criticism in a manner as respectful and useful as you do in this video. You just don't like people just outright saying something's bad. Guys, I wish people would when they're doing critical, that they just be nice about it instead of just saying it's shit. And it's shit because it does this and this. I think people are just a bunch of babies. They're a bunch of babies who don't like criticism. You got to defend the billion-dollar company. Wait, Swetsicle went too? Hold up. New lore unlocked. New lore.
Do we want to
We're doing.
Watch the Vidoc from yesterday?
No, I don't want to watch your Vidoc. I want to see your thoughts. Want to be the very best loot pinata? Wait, where is it? We're doing it live for the video. We've got it. I gotta see. Where? This is his live. Swetsicle. Let's see. It would have to be on his main channel, right?
Rising.
He went, but he has not said anything about it though. Are we sure that everyone's saying he went, but he's not said anything? People are saying he went, but I see absolutely nothing about him. I see absolutely nothing, which means either A, he did go and he didn't see anything good. And he's just not posting it because he has nothing nice to say about it. Or I don't know. I don't see anything that says anything about him. I see absolutely nothing. I already checked his live VOD.
Right.
Let's check yeah. Loop Pinata. Yeah, he's not doing anything. Okay, I want to be. He's playing Pokemon. That's base as fuck. Yeah, I don't believe it. I don't believe that he went because there's no showing him anything. Yeah, I dusted off Destiny 2. Anyways, doesn't matter. This was about Mr. Fruit. He went. I'm curious why he's not showing anything. Mr. Fruit wasn't afraid to give his opinion, but I'm wondering why it's the one with the grave. Okay, well, we'll come back to that in a minute then. We're going to end this video. I'll check it out if he did. Cool, because I want to see his opinion. But I appreciate Mr. Fruit being honest. I think he did represent a large portion of the community. The people that left, the 95% of the community that's gone and is not returned since the final shape or even before then. So it's very interesting to see Mr. Fruit's take, and I appreciate the honesty. He was I think was very unapologetic about it, so I appreciate it. But I'll see you guys in the next video. As always, don't forget to game out. Huzzah.